The Dance of Eternity 1. It took me some time to shake out the cobwebs of Father Rivard and fully step back into the skin suit that was Jim. Not that actors ever truly shed a role, especially one that consumes them. Instead, I like to think that each personality leaves a tiny imprint from which we add more color to our lives and walk around as richer human beings. That's my 2 cents anyway. In that time of reflection and reclaiming me, I also started to realize something very powerful. Only a hint of it, like a waft of a summer barbecue from 2 streets over, tasty and alluring. Jim started to look at these serendipitous moments not as chance encounters or one offs, but rather as if they were orchestrated by some universal design. One day in particular, he went for a walk and found himself navigating a sea of people on Fifth Avenue. His trusty headphones, the aspirational music of Dream Theater serenading him. Something happened on that walk. He could sense a change in the perception of what was around him as the lyrics filled his soul. We fabricate we fabricate our demons, invite them into our homes, have supper with the aliens, and fight the war alone. We conjure up our skeletons, enlist the den of thieves, frightened from our closets, then sewn upon our sleeves. In the stream of consciousness, there is a river crying. Living comes much easier once we admit we're dying. I still don't know why at that very moment, but a seed was planted in me that I am still cultivating today. Perhaps it was the loneliness among a sea of strangers, or the random couple lost in a romantic dance in the corner of 5th and 34th Street. I realized that I never had to truly be alone, that I had my own dance partner in life. The universe, God, source, whatever energetic label you want to put on it, surrounds us and is with us. In that random, or perhaps designed moment, Jim could sense it with him on that street corner. It was the start of a long pilgrimage for one elusive and then intangible word: truth, his truth. For now, that would consist of nothing more than trusting that if he focused on his passion, his newly acquired dance partner would open up the doorways for him. They happened, seemingly out of the blue. The boy from Sidot found himself on a Times Square billboard alongside Mr. Supermodel Marcus from the Camille days. Celebrity, sexy cologne, and fashion signs littered the skyline on 42nd Street and Broadway. Jim stood on that corner and gazed up at the masterpiece. The gorgeous ad was for a clothing company with 3 guys sitting in Central Park. Jim looked great. Well, part of him anyway. The back of his broad shoulders, with 2 beautifully shaped ears and a gorgeous head of hair, was captured forever. The other 2 clowns in the spot were in full view and basking in the limelight. Jim stood there on that corner among strangers and began to laugh out loud at his big unveil. Too bad it didn't lead to any ear modeling over the years. They look great up there, if I say so myself. And for the record, still a billboard in Times Square, if you ask me. Thankfully, the dance continued, albeit in an unorthodox way, as Jim navigated the corridors of the studio for the daytime soap opera All My Children. It was his first of many visits to the show, and as a bit player over the next handful of years. A universal run-in with Kelly Ripa, which sent her script flying, reddened those prize ears of his with embarrassment. But thankfully, her soothing voice and calming eyes quickly doused any fear over the mishap. He received a first-class star escort to his own dressing room that day, and never forgot his experience on the show with Kelly and the icon Susan Lucci, whom he shared lines with in a courtroom scene. It dawned on him that conversation is what binds us all, celebrity or not. Kids today, They need positivity more than ever, whether in music, sports, actors. They need us. Ice-T spoke from his side of the table. The legendary gangster rapper turned actor sat and continued on with an educated ease and flow of positivity. I remember sitting there so inspired by this man whose life to get to where he sat now wasn't exactly all rainbows and unicorns. This was the man behind the famous cop killer anthem. And here he was playing a cop, sitting with me, discussing views on life in between takes on the set of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. Sure, when the cameras were rolling, we were different. But sitting idle, we all held the same status on our resume: human beings who need human beings.